Hi everyone, it's me, Danielle. I had just uploaded the last uh, video I made, which was my experience with portals. And Lead Me Universe had a great question. She wanted to know how to protect yourself while you're out of your body. And protection is actually important every day, not just when you're out of body. The comment underneath from Hidden Observer 8447 was really good. They had said your physical connection is your ultimate superpower while you're in your dream world. And I wanted to sort of expand on that. And they also said just holding, radiating a lot of light will repel most of it. So there's two things that were really good answers. And I wanted to just talk about that, plus some other things that came to my mind that have worked for me in different scenarios. So it is true, we are tethered to a physical body. Our energy bodies are tethered to our physical body. And we are conduits between universal and earth energy, which makes us really quite powerful. Um, we are creators incarnate, and with our minds, creativity, and imagination, we can defend ourselves. We are strong enough. I just wanted to illustrate a couple of ways that this works for us. Like some people, they imagine that they've got this white bubble of light around them or golden white light. I've heard those two different things that people have used to bubble themselves up. The idea being that the bubble like is around you, and if somebody were to try to come and like even to touch you, the bubble would come in and still be between them and you. That is the idea of bubbling up. I find that it works pretty good as an empath, being out in public and dealing with the public. You could bubble up. That way you don't need to walk into a restaurant and feel everybody's emotions or their body aches, like somebody's dislocated shoulder in this room or whatever. People can be very sensitive to all of these um, feelings that other people have. So bubbling up is pretty good for that. I personally haven't found that bubbling up has protected me in a spiritual way. And I say this from the point of, I was in an extreme paranormal situation for more than a decade. And I tried bubbling up and it never really helped me. And I will tell you that one of the reasons it didn't help me is because I was leaking energy from my chakras. So there is some work that we all have to do. Our chakras can hold on to traumas, whether it's from this life or another life. But what can happen is we can leak energy, and we can also have a tear in our auric field, which is not good because not only could we leak energy, but other energies can enter into our body. So some of the protections really are making sure we don't have chinks in our armor. Ugh, can't talk. Chinks in our armor. So doing the work of getting making sure your chakras are clear and everything's working well. I like to ground every day. I do still bubble up to leave the house and protect myself from other people's energies. And I and I just did this. So for me, what helps me visualize better is this funny hand motions. Like I literally make a bubble with my hands, or I also mentally cut energy lines. So if you are concerned about something, stressed about things, somebody has you emotional or upset, it's like good that you have a big heart and you're concerned. It's not good if your energy is leaking to that. So I imagine a blade and I just cut all the energy lines. You have to do this kind of daily, maybe more than once a day until it becomes very a regular thing. Grounding, bubbling, cutting the energy lines all right, radiating that light, like Hidden Observer 8447 said. Great. Now, so the bubbling didn't really work for me ever. Things could still get at me. So I didn't feel like it was a very good protection for me. And so for me, that light that I try to radiate is actually a flame. Now, the color of the flame can be different. Sometimes it is a golden white flame of light. And I not only encase myself in it all the way around, but I run it through my energy core. And it's been really nice because on nights when I have had something negative come around and it has kind of messed me up energetically a little bit, it did get in. I run the energy through and around myself, and it actually reset me. So I was able to fix what damage had been done by this intruder in the night. So I just wanted to share those things first. What else? Okay, so the other thing is our imagination. Like I said, since we are creators incarnate, our imagination is really manifesting. So we have this power to, if something is bothering you in the astral, this may sound crazy, but you can mentally push them into the light. Now, your vibration has to be pretty high for this. I think, you have to raise yours higher than the being that is harassing you. But generally speaking, those things are not that high vibration, so it's not that hard. And I remember the first time that I tried to push something in the light, and a client of mine was telling me he was being harassed by something in his bedroom. And when I remote viewed it, it was a person in spirit who was, trying to look scary. And honestly, most of these things look so cliche, like horror films. But we were looking at each other, and I was mentally trying to push him, just like in the movie, like Children of the Corn, where they wish you to the cornfield. It's very similar. You just mentally push them into the light. But he wasn't budging. My first time, he wasn't budging, and we were like locked eyes on each other, and he wasn't moving. And I was like trying really hard to push him, and he wouldn't move. But I did see the light come behind him, and he got sucked off anyway into the light. It's probably a bad word choice, but anyway, the thing is, and the thing to know is that I am dealing with the real light. I'm not dealing with any false lights. It's the real light. I'm connected to it. We all are connected to it, and we can, pull it in. These beings, like this person, he was trying to scare people and take their energy because he needed energy. Totally get that. But, that's not a nice thing to do to people. So he has to go. In the light, he can actually exit the light. And I just wanted to make sure people know that I'm not impeding on somebody else's free will because they can leave the light. It's a lot of times they don't realize that they can go into the light because either they were not beings of the light to start with, so they didn't know they can go into it, or they are beings that were connected to the light and they have sinned, and they think from religious teachings that they can't go into the light. So I just wanted to make sure that that's real clear. They have gone into the light, gotten pushed into the light, and come out again. So they can do that. What tends to happen is after they go into the light, though, is either they love it and they stay, or they come out, but they come out lighter themselves. And they're not going around messing with people usually after that. And even if you have to push them more than one time, they'll come out cleaner every time, almost like going through a laundry cycle. So another thing about protecting yourself is that I have found that my subconscious is better at clearing my space than my conscious self. And I did have an interaction in September 2023, half a year ago or so, where a group of about 11 people came into my room. One woman had horns. So I don't know if she was a human or if I really wasn't sure what she was, but they seemed stronger than just normal humans in spirit. So I come to understand that she, was a witch and she was using the other people with her to drain energy from them. And that's maybe why she felt kind of strong. One of them said to me that I needed to come with them. And I saw myself, it wasn't my conscious self. I saw myself say, no, I don't. And then I saw my hands come up, and from my hands, green flames started shooting out of my hands, and I pushed all of them into the light. And I didn't hear them. They looked like they were screaming, like maybe it hurt or whatever, but I think they just anticipated that it was going to hurt and that it didn't actually hurt. But that was interesting because I had never had green flames come out of my hands before, and that is not something I have ever learned in my conscious waking life. So either it's something I learned in another life, or it's something I've learned, on the astral, and I just don't remember because I don't remember my dreams. I'm not really sure. That's about when Merlin came around, and Merlin also wields green flames from his hands. So I did learn from that experience that I had a life learning from Merlin. So knowing that my subconscious is better at clearing space than I am consciously, sometimes when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed with some of the stuff I have to deal with, what I do is I relax into myself. And this is I'm awake when this is happening. So I relax into myself and I just tell my subconscious to go ahead and take care of it. And I just lay back and I can see all the lights and flames and things being thrown. And, it's kind of a trip, but I can clear the space like in a snap if it's my subconscious self. So it actually kind of aligns with what Michael Shaman always tells me, is that sometimes I'm trying too hard. So when I tried to push that first guy and I was really trying, it wasn't going real easy. It wasn't easy. But when I just like lean back and relax and let my subconscious do it, it's like there's no effort, but better results. And he always does say, if you push, the universe pushes back. So if you go with the flow and go with this real easy idea, you'll see what I mean. So the other thing about my subconscious is that if somebody mentions to me that their house has a haunted room or something's going on in their house, I can catch my subconscious or one of my energy bodies leave my body. I can feel it leave, and I start getting mental images of it's off clearing that house. So I have done that where somebody told me they had a room that felt really bad, and it turned out to have a portal that reptilians were coming through. And I'm just driving my car right after she told that story, and next thing you know, I'm watching. I threw 3 reptilians in the light while I was driving my car. And I saw it because the images were popping in my head, but I wasn't trying. So, so that's pretty cool. But the important thing is to just relax, and don't fight, but do it real, like go with the flow and maybe let your subconscious give it a whirl. You may actually do something different. I know my friend was telling me that in a dream, she saw that she thought we were in a battle, but I know that we're clearing the lower astral. And I asked her if she uses her hands to throw energy, and she said no, she uses her third eye. So we're all we all may be doing different stuff, working with different colors of energy, flames from different chakras. You know, I would love to hear if anyone's got some of their own experiences. I want to hear about it. So definitely comment that. So another thing that can be done when you're out of body and you need protection is, and I've heard people say this, they just send the beings love and light. And apparently, if they're not of the light, they don't like it. It makes them go away. I had recently woken up and something was in my room, and it was like, it was right in my face, and it was ugly. But I got startled because I was startled awake, and then this thing's in my face. And I had this little flash of fear right away. And I think that's totally normal. But I made the decision to not feed into that energy. And I said it, I don't know if I said it out loud or I said it with my mind, but I definitely said, I am not feeding energy into this. And uh, and the thing backed off, and I didn't even throw it in the light. I literally, so little energy I put into it that I rolled over and went back to sleep. And the next morning I felt a little bit bad because that thing could go on to bother somebody else. And sometimes when I think it can go on to bother somebody else, I'm thinking about my family and friends, like my daughter. It could go next door to my daughter. And so I was like, maybe I should have pushed it in the light. And maybe it wanted me to push it in the light, and I didn't do it. So I felt a little bit like maybe I messed up on that one. But the important note to take away from all that is that I just literally said, I'm not feeding energy into this. I felt no fear, and it got nothing from me, and it left. So it can be kind of as easy as that. I think one of the last things you can do is to remember that your guides and benevolent beings are kind of in the wings, and they won't help you if you don't ask them to help you, because it's supposed to be all about free will. So they're not going to intervene if you are not asking them to do it. And I had heard somebody say this once, and that very night I went to bed and something woke me up because it entered my energy field, and it was trying to siphon energy from me. And the first thing I did is I just said, I need my guides. I need them here right now and help me get rid of this thing. And I felt Arcturians come in through the window above me. A hollow earth being came in running through my bedroom door. And that's when I first saw that I had a dragon, because I looked to my right and there was a dragon there also protecting me. So, you know, I think we can clear our own spaces, but if you ever are in over your head, I think you can also ask for help from your guides and benevolent beings who are around, that want to be, helpful to you. I think one of the last things, so since I, had a very haunted house for 13 years, and so many people had come through trying to clear it, they oftentimes did sage. And I think a lot of people, they'll burn sage and is that wood, Palo Santo wood. There's Florida water. There's all sorts of things, that people use for clearing spaces. But I found that they they raised the vibration of the property, but they didn't get rid of anything. And even if it did make something step out for a minute, it didn't make it go away for good. So I didn't find sage to be that helpful ever. I still like it, and I still will do it, but it's mostly just to make my space really nice and positive vibrations. What I have found and what helped me a lot was salt. So I can show a demonstration, but um, I buy this box of big rock salt at the store, and this is good for, how you can leave your crystals outside in the moonlight or the sunlight to kind of clear and recharge your crystals. You can also make a little bowl of this salt and set crystals on that. And this is nice if you need a tray of salt, say under your bed, maybe under a client chair if you work with clients, and you want to help absorb energy, or you could put them in cups around your room in the corners. Um, we actually burn salt, and I'll show that at the end. So the other thing you could do with salt, well, you can make a saltwater bath. Those are nice, soaking in salt water. I tend to use Epsom salt. And I know there's saltwater pools and saltwater jacuzzis, and there's also bodies of salt water that you can soak in. I try to soak once a week in salt water. Being a person who's an empath, it's nice to get in the salt water and dissolve away other people's stuff. It's good for grounding. And I think it's also good for sort of clearing your own mental and energy blockages through your channel. I can see it just dissolving away. So so salt baths are great. People use salt as protections around their property, where they pour salt around perimeters. I've done this before. I've done it to block spirits from entering my space. And what I did there was I poured the salt, but then it's not just the salt. You imagine the salt line like a wall of light coming up from the salt, and then you don't walk over that line while you need the protection. So that's really good. I mean, I burned a candle too, and I don't know how important that was. Sometimes I think some of the rituals involved with doing these protections are a way to help us manifest and make our minds believe that, that we are making this protection. It just helps with the manifestation. I don't know if the candle was as important as the salt line and visualizing that light wall. What else? I guess I'll show you how to burn salt. I'm going to say that you have to be really careful. I got this. This is a candle holder. So it's kind of funny because I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I don't think they'd be too happy to find out that I'm using it to burn away negative demons. But, and I've got this little pan with a lid. So I used to make soup for my daughter when she was little, and I'd serve it to her with a little lid to keep it warm. But I put the rock salt in here. And what I'm going to say is this, you have to be really careful with this because the pan gets hot. That's why I have the little base. The pan gets hot. So you don't want to just burn this and set this on carpet or hardwood flooring and burn holes in your flooring. You have to be careful. But the way that you burn the salt is you pour alcohol on it. So I'm going to demonstrate that in my kitchen right now. Okay, so I'm just in the kitchen to show this, but I have done this in many rooms around my house. But since I don't need to do it, I just thought, I'll just do it in here. It's the safest space probably. So you take your pan, you add in some rubbing alcohol. Keep your lid close by because I believe you could just put that on top if you wanted to put out the fire. And then you just light it. And this is great to do because it literally is like a vacuum that just absorbs the negative energy in the room. So I use this method all the time when something's a little too strong in the room and it's not pushing too easy, or when there's a portal or something that we need to kind of take the energy down. And then once we do that, see it? Once we burn it, it gets real easy to take care of. So I just thought I would show this. You have to be safe. You have to do this with a watchful eye on the spot. You have to be careful that the pan, can get hot and burn your flooring or wherever you're trying to do it. The way that I've got it, it's really safe, and I've done it a lot of times. So anyways, I just hope this helps somebody, and that if you guys have other ideas that I didn't get to, be sure to add it in the comments. I love to hear everyone's experiences and your ideas as well on if there's other ways of protecting yourself. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you have a great day.